let's talk about air safety and this government shutdown. Did you know that a third of all of the FAA employees are sitting out at home right now during this government shutdown? Air traffic controllers, they of course are still on the job, still in the towers, but you might be surprised to learn that the FAA considers 3,000 safety inspectors among its non-essential workers. So we're going to talk about this with some of the experts in the field. Travel expert Mark Murphy, author of Travel Unscripted, and also Mary Schiavo. She's an aviation attorney. Also, she was formerly the Inspector General at the Department of Transportation during the last government shutdown, end of '95. So two good people to talk about this. Mary, I want to start with you. So these are the workers that inspect repairs that are done. They inspect upgrades on planes. They're responsible for those that are done both here in the U.S. and overseas on our planes. So my question to you is air safety at risk as a result of this?
Well, it depends on how long this shutdown is going to last. Technically, what these inspectors do is they oversee the designated inspectors who are employed by the airlines, by Boeing, and those people actually continue on the job because their paychecks are paid by the companies. So the FAA appoints them to inspect, and then the FAA oversees them. And so what happened in '95 is they just stayed on the job. This time it's a little different. So if it's a short shutdown, they won't have a backlog of inspections to do, but really what the FAA does is they look over the shoulder of the designated inspectors.
So Mark, I want to bring you in on this because talking about what it means for the traveler here, this is a relatively short shutdown so far. Who's to say how long it's going to go? But what does this mean for flyers? I mean, what steps should the airlines be taking because of this to ensure that the flyers are safe?
Well, I think you have to look at the airlines. They want to obviously have planes that are flying safely. And just like Mary mentioned, you have different levels of safety already on the ground. I will point out that earlier this year, the Inspector General came out with a report that talked about the maintenance facilities and the actual FAA inspections that were taking place and saying that those weren't even adequate with those folks on the job. So wow. I think air safety is critical. And Mary, to your point with regards to these maintenance facilities, a lot of people don't realize a lot of the maintenance and repairs are actually done outside of the U.S. in lower labor cost areas. And hence, that's where I think one of the focuses needs to be. And that's where it's been a little lacking.
So can we talk, Mary, about who's going to certify these planes and say, yes, they are indeed ready to fly?
Well, for the big manufacturers, for example, let's take Boeing. Boeing already does about 95% of their own certifications, so they will go forward. What's really going to be crucial here is foreign inspections, for one, because the FAA does not cover them very well as it is. There are some foreign stations who almost never see the FAA, but also smaller operations in the United States, on-demand air travel, private aviation, all of that who don't have their own inspectors, those kinds of operations are going to be hurt.
Well, and interestingly, you know, Boeing, which does most of their own certification, but not all, has warned recently that this shutdown may delay its ability to deliver new planes to customers. So, Mark, looking at the customer impact, we have no idea how long this is going to go on. So let's say it's a month, it's 2 months. Let's hope it's not. But then what does that mean for travelers?
I think what happens is if you get to a month or 2 months or 3 months, that's when you're going to see the impact as far as the flying public, because this can't go on forever. These people also are involved in the training of air traffic controllers and other folks that are critical to the air traffic system. So if that continues, then you're going to see an issue. Let's all hope that it doesn't, because I think if it does go much further than where it's at right now, you know, 2-3 weeks out, we're going to have many bigger issues to deal with than just about getting people from point A to point B.
Yeah, and safety is number one. You can deal with the delays, but safety is the number one issue. Mary, appreciate it. Mark, thank you both for joining us this morning. This affects so many people. Thanks, guys.